So today I wanted to talk about slowing down. So the reason is because I fractured my hand on Friday in a pole dancing class. And the silly thing is, it was like a move that I always do, right? It's like a beginner's move. But I was just doing it so fast. The routine was quite quick and I was trying to catch on, and it was this weird twisty grip, and I don't know. I always do it, but I just managed to do something wrong or too quickly, and I fractured my hand. And I felt it after I did it, and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. It was my finger, actually. I was like, oh, my finger kind of hurts. But I felt it. I was like, well, it's not broken. So, of course, being me, I kept dancing. I was like, it's just my finger. And then I went and taught a yoga class after that. Just didn't put much pressure on my hand. But in the meantime, my hand started swelling up. And I was like, ooh, that doesn't look good. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, yeah, I think you might have fractured your hand and you need to get an x-ray. So I did get an x-ray, and sure enough, I did fracture my hand. And now I'm in a temporary cast. I'm going to get a real cast on in a few days, but I have to wear the cast for 5 to 6 weeks, which, for someone like me who is very active, it's part of my job, but also I love to be active. I love being fit and doing this and that. And it's hard for me just to sit still, right? And do nothing. Well, I don't have to do anything. I mean, I can still do stuff, but I just can't use my left arm. I can still luckily teach. I can still exercise. I just can't use my left hand. So, but it is a bit annoying, It takes me longer to do everything, twice as long. Just getting ready in the morning, putting on my clothes and, washing my face and everything. It takes a long time, zipping up the zipper and things. It's just... yeah, everything takes me twice as long. So it's very humbling, and I'm just not very good at being injured. I'm sure by, the end of the 5 weeks, it'll go by quickly. But right now, it just seems like forever since this just happened. And what I'm getting out of this is, because I always think there's a message, a life lesson to things that happen, is life, the universe telling me to slow down. Because I have been running on full speed, I have to say, for the past, probably this whole year, actually. I mean, it's already end of August, and I'm like, what just happened to, 2025? So I think I've been going at lightning speed, and just, I walk fast, I do everything quite quickly, and I think the universe was just telling me you need to slow down. So, I've had to suspend my pole membership for, at least until I think the new year, and my classes I had to modify, and which is fine. At least I can still move. It's luckily my left hand. I'm right-handed. So, but it takes some time to heal. But I think it's just a lesson for me to just slow down. And I think it's very easy for us to get caught up in all the noise and life. Life is busy, let's face it, and it's easy to get caught up in it all the chaos, and just forget to slow down and be mindful and present. And like I said, this move was something I do all the time. It's beginner's move. So I just think, I know this move, and you just do it. It's like when most car accidents or most accidents happen pretty close to home. And most accidents, I think when I talk to people that have broken a bone or something happen, it's usually something really silly, like tripping on stairs or tripping and falling on just something silly, not silly, but you know what I mean. I mean, everybody thought when I said pole, they thought, oh my God, did you fall? That's what the doctor said, did you fall? And I was like, no, I didn't fall. And, and I do all these crazy tricks inverted. I do, these very hard tricks in aerial yoga, and that's fine because I don't hurt myself, because I'm so present and mindful, because I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to fall. And, when we do these things, these everyday things, like walking and, walking up and down the stairs, or just walking and not missing something on the road, like a crack or a bump, this pole move that I always do, and just not even thinking twice about it. Like, oh yes, I do this. And that's how I hurt myself. So yeah, I mean, I was telling people I don't have this big story to tell you. It was just, yeah, a simple move, a beginner's move. And that's the thing. I was talking to my mom about this, and it's because we're not really present when we do these day-to-day things, these easy things for us that, we're not always so mindful. I know when I'm walking, sometimes I'm listening to messages or, podcasts, or I'm like reading messages, text messages, or texting at the same time. I'm not following things. I'm running into things, and it's the same kind of thing, right? So I think it's just being mindful and present and slowing down. It's more important to be safe, obviously, but also to get the job done correctly, right? To stay focused and present, to get it done properly and correctly, rather than making silly mistakes and worse, like, endangering yourself and others. So yeah, I've had a hard lesson. So the next, 5-6 weeks is going to be very humbling. And yeah, that's just how it is. It's slow down. So that's, I guess, my message to you is slow down. It's not a race, and we'll get there in the end, but it's better to get there, safe, and, rather than obviously something happening like myself. But yeah, so slow down. With that, I will love you and leave you. I hope you guys are well, and I'm hoping to get to more podcasts, actually, since now I have a little bit more time on my hand. I'm still going to be teaching my classes, but, I'm not going to be doing other classes, and I'm going to really try to embody it. And also, yeah, just really listen to myself, slow down, be mindful and present all the time. Okay, I will check in with you later, and have an amazing day. Okay, thank you. Bye.